Good evening, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to thank Vivek sir, though he has left, for this very kind introduction. Um, Sir has asked me to speak on the topic if I were to begin today as an aspirant, how would I start? Just a few questions like, do you have any doubts or any questions at all? Certain things that you just need to be answered. It can be about the book list, it can be about how to balance current affairs with static. It can be about which newspaper to read. Anything at all. Just shoot. Like, see, we have 20 minutes. He only said. So by 4:30, 35, we want to wrap this up. So just anything. So that I know that I can just, answer the most important points that you have. Anything. Resource. Yeah, go ahead. Book list. Okay. So my book list was simple. We have a basic book, an advanced book, and supplement that with previous year questions. For modern history, again, and this book list was common for prelims and mains. In mains, there was a little bit of addition, and I'll tell you that according to the subjects. For art and culture, I had the class 11th NCERT textbook. For modern history, it was Spectrum. For the art, architecture, literature part, which is mentioned in, is the first point of GS1 syllabus. For that, I used R.S. Sharma and Satish Chandra for ancient and medieval parts, just the art, literature parts from there. Geography, NCERTs, 4 NCERT textbooks are there, class 11th and 12th, that's it. That leaves Indian society. For Indian society, it was mostly newspapers and compilations. So I didn't refer to a separate textbook for Indian society. What you can do for such topics is just Google the topic on the internet, look at the previous year questions and create your answers or your notes through the dimensions of those PYQs. So maybe, women and women associated issues is a topic in the syllabus. But in the actual exam, question can be about women's participation in legislatures. So if this is a PYQ, ensure that your notes has this dimension already. 14% as a statistic, or countries which have higher than 50%, for example, Rwanda. All these points have to be in your notes. So that's for GS1. GS2, polity, prelims, Lakshmikant. For mains, addition was PRS Legislative Research website. Just to, get a better understanding about the laws, bills which are being introduced in the parliament. And along with that, newspapers. Again, you take newspapers as a guideline. For the governance section, I refer to Niti Aayog blog. Not the blog, but the website. You can also refer to the best practices compilation that Niti Aayog publishes. It's on a yearly basis. So that will really improve your answers. That leaves, I think, international relations. So for international relations, again, newspapers. There was no book that I referred. But you can make basic notes from either the Ministry of External Affairs website, just put the countries in relation to India, or you can also use compilations which are available in the market. Just a basic skeleton of the notes will really help. GS3, economy, I think from a prelims perspective, again, I did not specifically study economy because that was my optional, economics. But in case you were to begin, I think refer to the class 11th NCERT textbook, India Economic Development. That will give you just an overview of the Indian economy. And you can supplement that with Ramesh Singh or Vivek Singh, either of these two books. I haven't read them personally, but you don't have to read the entire book, just the important chapters from those books. Agriculture, again, that will be covered in economy itself. Ensure that during the mains exam, you refer to the eco survey, or at least the summary of the eco survey, or the budget and the summary of the budget. These things will really improve your mains answers. Science and technology, it was based on newspapers and PYQs. Internal security, again, no different book. It was just based on the PYQs and newspapers. Like, if you look at internal security, you'll see there's a pattern. Like, if this year there's a question on, say, the first topic of internal, maybe development and extremism, that it can most likely it will come in the alternate year. So it's they're asking in 2025, 2027 they will repeat that topic most likely. So you can just prepare your notes accordingly. I mean, have notes for all topics, but prioritize. With respect to ethics, I refer to D.K. Balaji sir's book. And there's a PDF, a very short introduction to ethics. I don't remember the publisher, but it's a 70-page PDF, and it just gives you an overview of the entire subject. And it's given from a Western philosophy point of view. So I think you can refer to that as well, because that will give you many ready-made examples, which are uncommon. And it will, just bring that originality in your paper, I think. You have to use those examples accordingly, but it will really help. So this was the basic book list. Anything else? Major topics? Essay. Okay. With respect to essay, there was no specific book. What you can do is take out themes. So look at TYQs. Do just past 10 years. You'll identify themes. Philosophical themes may you have courage, resilience, hope, failure. All these themes will show up. And GS, you have education, poverty, or cybersecurity reforms, or so on and so forth. Make your introductions and conclusions for these topics theme-wise. So for, say, a question on dealing with uncertainty, or maybe rising from failure, for that you can have a ready-made quote that success is not final, failure is not fatal, but it is the courage to continue that counts. So if you have such ready-made quotes under each topic, I think it will just improve the overall presentation of the essay. Secondly, I think we need to have an argumentative approach in essay writing now, like just giving examples or just giving multiple dimensions no longer suffices. So it's no longer sufficient. So being a little argumentative, that is, to give an argument, give a justification, give an example, and then give a counter argument. I think doing that is very important in essay writing. So you have to be a little more critical when you're writing essays, and keep practicing essays. I think that is very true. So two things. One, try to be more argumentative in the approach, critical, experiment. And second, read a lot. I think if you read different, anything, maybe newspapers, sometimes magazines, sometimes fiction, even if you don't have to complete the book, just get ideas. The more you read, the better ideas you will learn, and the better ideas you can eventually create, is what I think. And practice writing essays. That will help. But go theme-wise in essays. That will help you. Any particular topic? Anything else? Maybe how to deal with anxiety, or how to deal with uncertainty. If this is a question. Because when I started, I too was like, Baba, what's going to happen? And it took me 3 attempts to clear this exam. In the first 2, I couldn't clear the prelims. First one, CSAT. Second time, less than a mark, I missed the paper 1. And then finally got through. But in those 3 attempts, I couldn't get, I was always in a feeling of self-doubt, at least in my first 2 attempts. So it was an attitudinal issue that I had. Like, first time I was very casual about CSAT, shouldn't have been, but learned the hard way. And second time, when I gave the second prelims, it was self-doubt, because though I knew the answer, but when you look at the 2023 prelims paper, you'll see it. You just don't know. Like, I was very scared whether I should mark it or not, because what if it goes wrong? And in that negative cycle, I kind of just did not mark the questions that I knew, or overthought the questions which were, instinctively coming to me. This happens. It's human. It happens with everybody. It's natural. So, but in the third attempt, what happened was I had a very more like a positive, complete, and a optimistic approach. See, ultimately, it's an exam. I know all of us know this, and most of you obviously know this, that yes, it's just an exam. But keep telling yourself it does not define your worth. You have a life outside of this exam as well. It can be anything. It can be playing a sport. It can be cooking. It can be dancing. Anything at all. So I think give yourself that 1 hour every single day, no matter which stage of the preparation that you are in, because that will really, really just center you and rejuvenate you to come back and sit at your study table. So that is one thing that I changed in my third attempt. And I think that is what really helped me sail through. So ensure that, if you are facing mental health issues, seek help. It can be friends, family, professional help, but do seek help because it does get lonely. But be positive and optimistic. I think that is very, very important. Like, aptitude will be there, but attitude is even more important in this exam because you really don't know what's going to happen. Like, even after the interview, you didn't know whether it was going to come, not come, result. I mean, result was obviously going to come, but whether it was going to be positive, negative, God knows what. So just keep yourself centered, I think, and I don't know, have a life outside of this entire journey as well. That's one message that I would like to give. Yeah. Yes. So my interview was current affairs based. It was not on the basis of my DAF, more or less, because questions were about current affairs to a large extent, things that were happening at that point of time. I think one interesting question was the last question that was asked by the chairman, that if I give you a choice between a smart civil servant, a vice civil servant, or both, who would you be? And I answered a vice civil servant without hesitating and said that a vice civil servant can handle any situation. And that was it. And it ended on a high note. Though there were questions to which I couldn't give an answer. I had to say I don't know, and I did say that. So I think in the interview, just accepting our gaps as well as our positives, and more so our gaps, is very important because we're not going to know everything. The only reason I could say I don't know and then give an answer in the end, which was, which was instinctively given, spontaneously given, without any overthought, was because I knew it's okay. You are not going to know everything under the sun, and have integrity. That is what they're testing. Consistency in thought, integrity. There are certain values which are mentioned in the notification, in the personality test section. I think the day you start inculcating those values in yourself, maybe you will become an officer, but if not, you will definitely be a better human being. And I think those values are, they form a guiding light for this exam. Of course, academics, studying, very, very important. Hard work, you have to put in the hours. But I think you need to go a step beyond that to get results in this exam, because people from different backgrounds clear it. So, but I think what everybody might have in common is that they are just, they're headstrong, that no, they want to clear it, and they're willing to take failure and, give it another chance. So that notification is the guiding light. Like prelims, you have the syllabus. Mains, they have given certain qualities. They want depth. They want depth of understanding. They want superficial knowledge will not be marked. These are pointers. I don't remember all of them, but these are certain pointers which are there under each stage of the examination. And likewise for personality test, you have certain values. So I think keep going back to that notification in your journey. That will really just, give you direction. And if you work in that direction, definitely it will bring results in some way or the other. Any specific questions? Anything? Time management, answer writing, current affairs? Another doubt that freshers can have is about current affairs. Okay, which newspaper to read, because there are so many in the market. So for general studies, you can read either the Hindu or the Indian Express. If anyone has economics, does anyone have eco option here? No, right? So it's okay then. So for general studies, you can read the Hindu or the Indian Express. Both are equally good, I think. Like Hindu has a text page, Express has an explained page. So choose any and continue with it till the end. That is what is important. Along with that, maybe you can solve current affairs quizzes. They're available on platforms of different institutes. that will really help you prepare for the prelims exam. Prepare current affairs for the prelims exam. Because I did not find reading magazines very helpful. In the first 2 attempts, I did try that, but I never could revise them, or maybe revise them only once. So instead of, I think, going to magazines, I'd recommend just solve the quizzes which are available on these websites. Compilations are also there, so you can do it on a monthly basis, or you can also do it on a daily basis, depending on what is suitable for you. That's one thing. With respect to the resources question, first question that you asked, just remember less is more. Okay, don't add too many resources. Don't burden yourself that, no, if I'm reading NCERTs for geography, I have to also read an additional book, G.C. Leong, or maybe anything else. Less is more. That's the mantra. So focus more on understanding and assimilating that information, and then, creating an answer that will really bring results. Another doubt that some of you might have can be about answer writing. When should we start? Do we start now? Do we start a month from now? Or maybe 6 months from now? Or wait for the syllabus to end and then start? I think one thing you can start doing is whatever topic you are studying, say maybe in these 10 days you're probably studying agriculture, and within agriculture you're studying cropping patterns for the first 3 days. So just go to the UPSC's PYQs, identify the PYQs which were based on cropping patterns, and try to answer those with the help of the knowledge that you have. I think start that exercise slowly. You don't have to write answers right now. I think like take it slow. First, complete the first round of your syllabus. While you're doing that, look at PYQs. That will just give you direction. Okay, whatever I'm reading, whatever I'm studying, is it actually in line with what is going to be asked? So if it is there, then great. But if it's not, then maybe you will have to tweak some things here and there. Just identify that. And eventually, I think when you complete the first round of your syllabus, then move to answer writing. So we're in the month of June right now. Assuming you're writing the exam next year, maybe starting in October can be something that you can look at. Or if you're writing in 2027, you have more time. Give that first reading time, say till December. Ensure that all those concepts and pointers are internalized, and then you can begin. That would be my suggestion. Do you have any question? Anything? We have 5 more minutes. It's 4:30. 15 minutes are done. But in case any question about time management or time management in the actual exam or just on a daily basis? Both. Okay. On a daily basis, I think presently you should divide your day into 2 halves. First half is GS and classes. Second half is your optional. So it can work either way, in the sense you're broadly taking classes for GS or you're taking classes for optional, or both. Both, right? Exactly. So probably 8 hours you're in class only. 7 to 8 hours, right? So I think right now, what the best thing that you can do is just revise whatever you are studying in the class. Maybe on a daily basis, if not that, on a weekly basis. The daily basis, I think, works for some people who are very, very diligent and who can really do it. So maybe you can try that. If not daily, you can also try this. Whatever you study today, okay, next day before your class, revise that. Just flip the pages. I'm not even saying mug it up, learn it. Nothing. Make notes out of it. Don't do anything. Just flip the pages. And you keep doing this cumulatively. Like I study X topic in GS. I have 1 page or note. Tomorrow I study the first page. Write 2 more pages. Third day I study 3 pages. Write 2 more pages. Then 5 more pages. You just keep flipping. That will also improve your retention power. That's one thing that you can do for time management, because I think half day optional, half day GS, if you're already doing classes. An additional thing that can be done along with this is PYQs. PYQs of GS, PYQs of optional. And when I say PYQs, I don't mean solving them, just identifying, okay, whatever I'm learning, does this fit? Is it enough to answer this A, B, C question, whatever it is? If it is, then great. If it's not, then make some additions. That can be done. And in the actual exam, I think time management is extremely important, especially in the prelims and the main stage. Prelims, you have a 2-hour paper for GS and a 2-hour paper for CSAT. For general studies, I used to solve it in iterations. So I had 3 rounds in which I completed the paper thrice in those 2 hours. First 55 to 60 minutes was the first round, where I knew the questions 100%. I used to just mark them. It was less than 55 minutes, not beyond an hour. The second round was 35 minutes or so. Questions where I am doubtful in 2 options. I used to mark them. And then the third round was if I need to take risk. For example, in last year's paper, prelims that I gave, after 2 rounds, I had reached 82. But I still felt that, I don't know, the paper is on the easier side, I need to push it. Because if I don't, then it'll get stuck on the border or something like that. So that's why I added more 5-6 questions, so I attempted 87 in total. So I think, so in order to do this in the actual exam, you need to practice. You have to practice this through mock tests. So I think use mock tests for time management for prelims. It's okay, sometimes in the first 3, 4, 5 mock tests, you might not be able to manage it well. It's completely fine, happens with all of us. Likewise for CSAT, determine which is your strength. For me, I started with comprehension. 45 minutes, finished comprehension. No matter how difficult the comprehension was, 45 to 50 minutes maximum. And then whatever remaining time, pick and choose questions of math and logical reasoning. That was my approach. So I could complete the paper also with a very good margin. But this happened only in my third attempt. First attempt, it was 58. Second attempt, 70. And then third attempt, 128. So you have to identify what your strategy is. But do it. Do CSAT beforehand. Don't wait to fall on the border of CSAT. Resources for CSAT. For the English part, the comprehension part, I'd suggest just take up the PYQs. Just do the PYQs well for that and keep reading the newspaper. That's one thing. Why I'm telling you stick to only comprehension of UPSC is because I don't see if there's any alignment with GMAT or CAT questions here. Maybe you can try them if you're really thorough with UPSC reading comprehension questions. But I personally only solved comprehension. What I used to do was just pick up a PYQ and solve comprehension. Only comprehension questions. Initially, it used to take me 60 minutes. Slowly came down to 45 minutes. So got those extra 15 minutes for math. So PYQs was the source for that. Secondly, for math, in my second attempt, so after the first debacle, I picked up the class 10th NCERT of mathematics, and except for trigonometry, matrices, all those topics, solved number system, algebra, not even algebra, number system, and speed, distance, time. These simple topics I just solved from that NCERT textbook. So you can do that. That will help. Logical reasoning, again, do the PYQs really well. That can suffice. And I think if not that, then go a step further. Go to GMAT or CAT, maybe. I did not do that. But if you are really thorough with UPSC, then I think that's the best next option. Maybe you can also try learning on YouTube, just a few tricks and tips. By tricks and tips, I mean mental ability tips, you know, how to calculate faster, how to multiply, say, 2-digit numbers faster, or how to solve AP, GP faster. These can be very specific tips and tricks that you can learn online, which will help you save time in the actual CSAT paper. That can be done. And for time management in the mains perspective, again, practice is key, because you have to be able to complete 20 answers in 3 hours. And in one day, you are writing for 6 hours. So given that, you have to really pace yourself, and like completing the paper is non-negotiable. You have to complete it with quality answers. In order to do that, foundation has to be very strong. So the basic skeleton of your notes under each topic, under each theme, that is ready. You keep revising that and you keep writing answers. slowly the time that it takes for you to, get to good quality points. Like initially what will happen, all these random points will come to you. And after 2-3 points, you'll think of the most important point or the better quality point, which is most suitable to that answer. This is going to happen, 100%. It will happen in the first 2-3 months. But you have to go through that grind in order to, answer qualitatively in the actual exam. So keep practicing and brainstorming. Like once you do the first 2 rounds of revision and once you're all set after prelims, start this brainstorming cycle where you're every day, you're picking up 10 questions, PYQs, whichever subject, and just brainstorm. What will be the introduction, what will be the conclusion, what will be the structure of the body, and what will be the points within that structure. Because this will really help you think faster. And I think in the actual mains exam, it's not just about writing faster, it's about thinking faster. Because you have to read the question, understand the demand, process, get everything together, and then put it on paper. Because like, if you don't understand the demand and just randomly put things on paper, it will not fetch marks. So think faster. To do that, brainstorming can really help. So what I did in 2024 after prelims was, in those 3 months, brainstormed a lot. And that helped me, I think, improve my speed as well, because points were just coming like 1, 2, 3. For that to happen, I think, try brainstorming. You can even start brainstorming right now. I know it's just the beginning of the journey. Maybe not right now, but 3 months down the line, or whenever you're looking at PYQs, but start slowly. Right now, 1 point will come. Tomorrow, 2 will come. After 10 days, maybe 10 will come. It's cumulative. So I think try that. Okay. So I wish all of you best of luck. And thank you so much for giving your time. And I thank everyone once again. Thank you. Yeah.